Chaps, welcome back. It's been a while, but back on the daily vids. And the title to this video is slightly misleading because I actually believe that you can completely change your life in an instant. The changes that have happened in my life all started with a decision. And this video will hopefully help you make that decision. So your life will change today. By the end of this video, you will be a new person because it all starts in the mind and then reality catches up with you. But this video will help you make that change, decide who you want to be, and then give you the tools and the systems to changing and altering your reality so that you have completely changed your life, your mindset, and your reality within 1 year, no matter where you start. And the reason I say no matter where you start is because for anyone that doesn't know me, I started pretty close to the bottom as you could get. And I don't think it matters how much you fucked up your life, no matter what you've done. Forgive yourself, turn over a new leaf, start making the changes that you need to make to improve your life from today. For anyone that doesn't know my story, about 18 years old, I went to university, as a lot of guys do from the UK, and I got involved in the party scene, in drink and drugs, chasing that feeling that I think every man wants, that feeling of power, that feeling of confidence, of getting women, of living the high life. And I wanted the shortcut there. I wanted the shortcut when I was younger. And that led me to a place where by the end of, I dropped out of uni my first year, but by the end of the stay around my university town, where I lived for three or 4 years, I was living in pretty much a drug house. And I drank a couple bottles of wine every night for a year and a half. So I was an alcoholic and I was incredibly anxious, incredibly depressed. Couldn't leave the house without drinking. I was taking cocaine, ketamine, ecstasy, all to try and feel powerful and up. And I realised that that absolutely does not bring you a happy and a fulfilled life. And I started from the complete bottom, in debt, with nothing, having destroyed my body and my mindset. And I managed to claw myself back to make a beautiful life that I'm improving on every single year. So no matter where you are right now, don't worry. Just forgive yourself for the things that you've done and start making the change today. Now, all this begins, I found, with working from a high vibration, being in a high vibrational state. I always knew I liked to feel good. That's why I did drugs and alcohol, because I wanted to be in a high vibration. But you cannot shortcut a high vibrational state. Anything that goes up must come down. So if you're using any substances, weed, alcohol, drugs, any of that will bring you a come down. Content, even, for example, short form content. You want to feel up, you laugh at some videos, all of that brings you back down in the end. So you have to first find a way to get into a high vibrational state every single day and clear your body and your mind to think clearly. Then you can start to change your life. Then you can start to make positive change. One thing I've found is if you craft the body, the mind will then follow. You don't normally wake up in an amazing mindset at a high vibrational state. That doesn't happen very often. And if you only work on the days that you feel good when you wake up, you're not going to be doing a lot of work. So the way to get into that state is not through thinking about it, it's not through thought, it's through action. When you craft the body, the mind catches up. So the first thing you need to do is drop your vices, for starters. Anything that brings you up, has got your mind fucked up, drugs, alcohol, all of that needs to go. Drop your vices today and leave them in the past and start working with clarity. The next thing I do is when I wake up, I do daily cardio. And the reason why is to get oxygen in the brain. I do a half an hour run, fast as I can, and I get oxygen in the brain, I get endorphins flowing, and any bad mood that I had going into that day is cleared out by that run in the morning. I then do some lifting, because who just wants to have a runner's physique? You want to lift, you want to look good, you want to get girls, you want to look like fucking James Bond on steroids. So then we do our lifting, straight after we do that daily cardio. And then it's about the information you put in your brain. So in the morning, I read a self-development book. At the moment, I'm reading The Richest Man in Babylon. It's fantastic. Great lessons in that book. I highly recommend it. But the importance of that about 10 pages reading every morning after you've done your lifting is you've had the high vibrational state of putting oxygen in your brain. You're feeling good about yourself. You're in a positive mindset to take in information. And now you're putting in high quality information to give your ideas and to mold your reality to the world. Just doing that alone, if you don't currently do this, if you don't currently wake up early, get your cardio in and do some reading in the morning, that'll change your life this year, just on its own. Because once you're in that state, everything else becomes easy. Your bad mood is gone and you are able to conquer the day. once you've dropped your vices, once you've started this routine, you will begin to get clarity, and you'll look at your life now that you can't escape, just as I did. I looked at my life and I thought, wow, this is actually quite difficult to deal with, because now I'm seeing it raw. I'm seeing it raw, what I've done to my life and the things that I have to fix. So the next thing you'll probably have to fix when you start looking at your reality is the fact that you don't have any money. That was the fact for me. I'd spent all my money on drugs and alcohol. I had debt, and that was about it. I had really no money at all. And the key to freedom that I found and completely changed your life actually lies in getting that first $10,000 together. This is millionaire boot camp. And I'll tell you why. Making that first 10 grand will be difficult. Getting that save will be difficult, but it's nowhere near impossible. I'm going to give you the system to do it. But when you get that first 10 grand, that's your freedom fund. And more importantly, getting that money together teaches you the lessons that in the future will turn you into a millionaire. This is still the system that I use to this day with far more than 10 grand in the bank. So you can use this right now if you're rolling in cash to increase your wealth. And you can use it if you're starting from debt. You can use it if you're starting from zero. But the first thing we have to do is get 10 grand in the bank. If you want to change your life this year, you need 10 grand. That's your freedom fund. So how do we do this? I learned to save from a book by Dave Ramsey called Total Money Makeover. And the system that he uses starts like this. So you are probably using, if you have no money, one bank account. And you're spending from that bank account the same way I did. I never checked my bank. I was always just spending every month, and I never checked where my money was going, and therefore my money left me. I had not cared for it. It left me, it left out the door, and I never saw that money. I never had anything left at the end of the month, and then at the end of the month, I'd use my overdraft. This was the reality for me and all the people I was around when I was at university, was that you spent all your money, and then you spent your overdraft, and then you got some more money, it paid off your overdraft, and then you spent your overdraft again. So if you're in that situation, this will fix that. And the first thing you need to do is create a bank account. So what I did was a separate bank account to my card that I used every day. I got a bank account that I could not take money out of. I got a bank account with no card. So you can do this in a couple of ways. You just go into the bank and get a normal bank account, but cut up the card. And then the only way you're going to be able to get money out of that account, if you don't set up mobile banking, is by going into the bank and taking that money out or getting them to transfer. That's what I decided to do. I went and got a bank account, cut up the card, didn't have the mobile banking. All I could do is I had the information to send money into that account. If I ever wanted to get it out, I had to go into the bank and ask them to send me the money. And that was enough friction for me to not dip into that pot and take that money out for little things that I wanted. It's all about building a discipline around money. So first thing you do, separate accounts. Next thing you need is a bit of momentum. And I found the momentum was, for me, getting the first $1,000 into that account. And I recommend you do this by selling anything that you don't use. I think this is all about simplicity. When you cut out unnecessary spending, and you also cut out all the clutter and shit from your house. Anything you've got of value that's not improving your life, sell it. If you're sitting there with a PS5 right now and you don't have 10 grand in the bank, sell the fucking PS5, sell the fucking things that you use for entertainment, sell all your games, sell clothes that you don't want, sell all the things you've got lying around your house, declutter your house, and get your first $1,000 together and put it into that account that you can't touch. That's going to give you an emergency fund, so it will stop you from getting into debt if anything happens in a month that's an emergency, rather than having to use a credit card. You've now got that 1,000 there. You've got a little bit of buffer on life. It's not a lot. $1,000 not a lot, can go very quick, but you know now you've got a little bit of security there. If something bad happens, you need to pay for a new tire on your car, you can get that out of that account if you don't have enough in your normal account, and then you replenish that account. Now you have to save at an absolute minimum 10% of what you earn, and an absolute minimum, as much as you can ideally, but at a minimum 10%. Everybody can save 10%, no matter where you are right now. And the way you do this, go through your bank account and have a look. Where are you spending your money? Most of us don't know where our money is going. It's just leaving us without us realizing what we're spending it on. Go through, make a list of necessities, things you have to pay for, and cut these down as much as you can. If you've got memberships there that are running that you don't really use, if you've got memberships for entertainment, Prime, Netflix, Amazon, all that sort of stuff, cut it all off, because at the moment you need that 10 grand and you need it fast. So you cut out all of that spending, anything unnecessary, now I know where my money's gone. I've made a list of every bill that I need to pay and everything I need to run my life, to have a budget so that I can live. And this is how much I'm going to be able to save if I do that, and I'm not going to spend over. When your money comes in at the start of the month, you know, okay, you make $2,000. I have to have $1,500 to live and all my expenses, and $500 is getting sent straight to that account every month that I don't touch. And in this period of time, you live as simply as possible, because trust me, you're not going to need to live this way forever. You're going to have enough in your budget so that you can have the things you want again, that you can spend a lot. But right now you're cutting for a brighter future. You're cutting for next year's Jack. That's what I do for me. I'm looking out for the future of myself. And to do that, we live as simply as possible in this time. Now, some of you might have debt. If you've got debt, that's a huge burden. If you've got yourself into debt, it comes from being undisciplined with money and not understanding finance. But if you've got to a point where you spend more than you earn, you need to eliminate the debt. The first thing you do is you make the emergency fund. The reason we do this is so that you need cash to draw from if you have an emergency rather than credit. So before you pay off that debt, get your 1,000 in your account to build that momentum. You leave that 1,000 there, and now that 25% you're saving every month goes to paying down your debts. You go and pay off all of your debts, and that's the first thing you do. You've still got that 1,000 there, but you're paying off those debts every single month. And what happens with this is you get a snowball effect where you start to take control and manage your life and your money, and you see that account grow, and you see it get to 1,500 and 2,000 and 2,500, and you have discipline, and you don't spend it on the things that you want, and you get all the way to $10,000. How to use the $10,000? This was a big one for me. When I got my first 10,000, now you're thinking, fuck. For me, it took me 1.5 years to save that much money. So I was like, this is 1.5 years worth of work. What you have to do with that $10,000 is buy your freedom. It is a buffer that allows you to take risk. So if you have grand visions for your life like I did, my first 10,000 allowed me to move to Thailand. I took a risk with that 10,000. That 10,000 is not for the market. It's not for long-term investment. This 10,000 is to make you into the person you want to be. It's to allow you to take risk, to massively improve your life. I don't think you should invest that 10,000 in anything other than personal growth and life experience. The investment into yourself will outmatch anything that you could make in the markets if you invest that 10,000. So that 10,000, once you've got it, you've now got a choice to make. For me, the choice was I was working a sales job, and I was based in the UK, and I wasn't happy there, and I didn't want to live there anymore. So I used my $10,000 not to buy flights, not to buy tickets. I paid for that already with my monthly income. So I had 10,000 actually in the bank when I arrived in Thailand. That buffer allowed me to take a risk to move to a new country, to have new personal experiences, to go all in on my personal brand. These are the sorts of big things that I think you should do with that $10,000. Or if you want to stay at home, if you're happy where you live, that $10,000 goes into getting around the right people and getting a better education for the thing that you want to do. Whilst you're saving that money, you've got a lot of time to think. So you start planning what you want to do with your life and who you need to meet, what you need to learn to get there. That $10,000 has made me in total over $1 million in cash collected because it taught me new skills. I came out here, I invested in courses, I learned how to build a personal brand, things snowballed. Now, when I came to move into Thailand, a lot of people said to me, oh, you're just going to waste your money. You're going to lose that 10 grand. You could get a deposit on a house. You don't want that, trust me. You want to get to a level where you're making 10, 20, 30, 40, 100, 250 grand a month. And you only get there by new experience and becoming a new person. Once you're at that level, then you can start investing in other things and growing that wealth. But at the start, that 10,000 is all to become the best version of you. It's to learn new skills that allow you to make more money. Whether that be travel, whether that be starting a new life somewhere else, investing in a course, investing in a mentorship. That's how you use the 10,000. Just so we're clear. Now, I chose to travel with mine. And I've actually believed that 1 month in foreign lands is worth 4 months at home. And that's measured as a level of personal development. I've noticed how quickly people mature when they travel. And I'm not talking about backpacking around Asia. I'm not talking about going to find yourself. I'm talking about going to a place with an idea and a set plan to make a business, to make money online, to learn something new, to have a new opportunity, something to develop yourself, not to go on a holiday and spend time in excess and degeneracy. Otherwise, you'll be on the next flight back home. I've fucking seen it. End of the month, you've spunked your money up the wall. I've seen it happen time and time again, and then they're back in that job. They're back caged in, and they need to save the 10 grand again. The reason it gives you so much wisdom to travel, I found, is because of the new experiences you get. You are forced to grow up and mature and manage yourself on a higher level. So I strongly suggest that you travel and see some of the world, and it will force you to evolve. And at the same time, you make sure you make money, and you keep putting money away in that savings account, and you try not to dig into that 10k too much. But when you go away and travel, I've been traveling for 2 years. I've been out of the UK for 2 years, almost to the day, in various places around the world. It's where I started my business. It's where I started my YouTube. The new environment allowed me to become a new person. That's why it was so big. And in those 2 years, I've matured 8 years. I've had 8 years worth of growth in 2 years. You know how quickly you will outmatch people who stay at home in their common scenarios and with the common people around them if you decide to make that move. Next one. Bit off topic, but never masturbate again. Yes, you're probably quite upset about that. A lot of you probably like doing that. I liked to do that when I was younger. I completely stopped doing that. And the reason why, in the UK and in the West, they'll tell you masturbating's all right. It's a healthy habit. It's a healthy thing to do. You know, just spunk all over your bedroom. That's really healthy. You know it's not healthy. When we think about it, even when I'm saying it, I'm like, that feels weird. That feels fucking odd. That feels like something a loser would do. And that's why, because it is. That is what a loser would do. And the reason behind this, the reason why this is actually very essential to your success and changing your life is for this reason. The body is built to reproduce. It's the key driver in your brain power and your motivation to elevate your situation in life. It's the fact that you do not have a mate. You can't find a woman good enough to mate with. You can't find a woman that wants to be with you and have sex with you. Now, what your body will do is it will use that energy to improve your life to a point where you are a provider and a protector, where you can reproduce because you can find a mate. Now, whether you decide to go with that mate and have sex with that person and come is up to you. You can hold on to that energy. You don't have to let it go with a mate. But to start with, if you're at a point where you can't even find a mate, and that's why you're watching porn, masturbating all the time, the body will then think that it's accomplished a mission. It will think, wow, I'm good enough to mate with someone. We don't need to do any more work. That's why you get a period of relaxation, a period that makes you lazy, because your body thinks its ultimate goal is complete. Retaining that power will give you the ability to become the person that can reproduce and mate with a good mate. That's why you keep hold of that energy. If you're at a point where you can't find a woman and you have to masturbate, it means you've not done the work. That should then make you angry or sad or down. You then use that feeling, that emotion, and think, I don't want to feel this way anymore. And you make changes in your life. You follow the rules, you follow the path. You become a person women want to be around. And then you can find someone to mate with. You can do whatever you want. But until that point, and after that point, never masturbate again. It's a waste. Think of all the beautiful women out there that could be taking that seed and you're just spunking it on your parents' bedroom. No, not in your parents' bedroom, hopefully. In your own bedroom in your parents' house, you filthy animal. So stop doing that. Don't touch yourself. Let women touch you. It's just a shame. There's so many beautiful women. I can't get through all of them. I need some help. So don't wank. Use that energy for women and for improving your life. Next thing you need to know. The common path yields common results. Do not take the advice of anyone who you do not want to live like. I'm sure you guys have seen my life through my videos, through my Instagram. You see how I live. I personally love my life. I live a fucking awesome life. But if you don't like my life, if you don't like the way that I live and the things that I do, and you don't want a life like me, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying if you want a life like mine, this is how I've achieved it. And that's how you should think about every bit of learning you do. That's why I had such a big problem at school and university, because the people that were teaching me, I didn't want to be like. And it fucks up the message. You're like, why would I listen to you when you haven't done what you said and you also don't have a life I want? So that's the first thing you need to do. You're most of the time going to be speaking to ordinary people. They will give you advice. Everyone fucking loves giving advice. If you listen to ordinary people about their ordinary lives with their ordinary advice, you will become an ordinary person. So find somebody, whether it be me, Andrew Tate, Wes Watson, Iman Gadzi, someone with a life you aspire to, and only listen to those people. Only listen to the people that have done what you want to do. Because to live an extraordinary life, it takes extraordinary actions. And the people that have achieved those things know the actions to take. Most people like to submit to weakness. They like to have their comfort. They work the minimum amount in a day so that they can earn their rest. The guys at the top conquer weakness and become stronger and stronger and stronger. They do the most work and never look for time to rest. This has no limit. The more you conquer weakness, whether it just be going and reaching for something you want to eat right now and saying no, whether it be scrolling on TikTok, whether it be going and masturbating, and you say no, it puts a little power up in your bar, and your power becomes more and more, you build confidence, and things become easy to you. Every time you have weakness in your mind, I'll give you an example. When I do my run in the morning, everyone has this voice. You're not unusual if you have this voice. Everybody's got it. Jack, should we just do 3K? We want to get to our lifting. We're a bit short on time. You have to be very careful with this voice because it can trick you. It's very sneaky. So it will say, Jack, let's just do a 3K. Let's turn the speed down a little bit. We need a rest today. The way you deal with this voice is with discipline, and you tell him, I say to my brain, if I'm doing a 5K and it says let's do a 3K or a 4K, let's pull the speed down a bit. You motherfucker. Do you want to do a 7K? Do you want to do a fucking 10K? I say that to the voice in my head. Maybe I'm insane, but that's what I say. Do you want to do a fucking 7K at double the speed? Do you want to do a fucking 10K? Voice in my head. No. Then shut up. Because we're doing this and we do what we say we're going to do and we do it every day. Same if it says, Jack, don't make a YouTube video today. Do you want to do 2? Do you want to do 3? Because I fucking run the show here. I run the show. I'm the boss. I say what goes. Every time weakness pops up in your mind, give it an ultimatum. Say you can either do this or you can do way fucking more. Up to you. And eventually your mind will stop speaking to you in that way because it knows that you don't take any shit. Either that or I'm completely wrong and I'm actually an insane person, which is a possibility. Next thing you need to do, change your social environment. Surround yourself with winners and you will become one. This was so big for me, changing environment. You can never become who you want to be. If you want to be a multi-millionaire living in a drug house in Bournemouth, that I could never have done that. I needed to change my environment, and you have to really understand change and welcome change in your life. Your life will work in phases and your year will work in phases, and you don't have to stay in one place just because you feel indebted to the people around you. A lot of times people serve a purpose in your life and then you move on, and I've never had a problem cutting out negative influences because I know how to do it politely. A lot of people think it takes some big conversation, that they have to let their friends down. Your friends don't even have to know. You just tell them what you're planning to do and going forwards in your life, and you just remove yourself from the situation, and you're still friends, and you still say you're friends, and you are still friends. And a lot of the people that are maybe more negative influences in my life, I'm still friends with. We're still friends. I still love them. I don't hold it against them. I just want to change me. And anyone that has a problem with you changing yourself and becoming a better person isn't your friend. And if they are a friend, which mine were, they love to see it. And it inspires them to change themselves. But oftentimes it just means changing your environment, getting away from those people. If that's your mum and your dad, you say, look, mum, dad, I'm moving out. I just need to feel more like a man. You don't love us. You don't say, mum and dad, it's because you're fucking so negative and you bring me down every day. You just say, yeah, I just want to feel more like a man. I want to move myself out of the house. I want to really make you guys proud. That's what I want to do. And you remove yourself from the environment and you start to change your life. It's very, very simple. You don't hang out with the bad people anymore. Sorry, I can't do that. I really want to fucking get ahead this year. I'm going to the gym instead. I can't come out and party with you guys. That's how you talk to people. And every influence in your life from now on, you should try and make positive, because it has a huge impact on who you become. You will become the people you spend the time with. Everybody says that. Everybody understands that. You have to live it. You have to live that. Same with music, same with movies, same with content. Don't put negative shit in your brain. Don't put negative music in your brain. If I watch movies like The Wolf of Wall Street, I want to fucking go out and party, smash hookers, and do loads of drugs. So I don't watch that movie anymore. I watch movies, positive movies like Rocky, and makes me want to become a boxer. That's how you should think about everything you put in your brain. It has a huge impact. You actually have the ability to completely change the world and the reality around you. And I'll give you a perfect example of this in regards to relationships. So a lot of guys will say when they get a girlfriend, oh, I'm lazy because of my girlfriend. She is actually lazy because of you. I've found that women especially mold to the person that you are. They are like a mirror. If your girlfriend or your wife is misbehaving, if she's engaged in bad habits, if she's not a positive person, it is pointing a mirror and reflecting it back at you. She will become, you're meant to be the leader in the household. And I've seen this time and time again. I've led as a negative influence. I've had girlfriends during dark paths. They became like me. They became exactly the same as me. And I've had girlfriends in positive times in my life where they become exactly like me, even if they were the same as me before. Negative influences. You actually decide what happens in the world around you. You build your own reality. For me, I can go to a party and I can be the sober one and I can enjoy myself, and off of that 2 or 3 of my friends might decide they're going to be sober as well, and they don't go out that night, they don't go to the casino, they don't go to the strip club, they save thousands. And that was all because I decided to go in there with a strong enough ability to be who I want to be, and that massively impacts other people. And I've gone into parties before and I've been the life of the party, and I've turned the people that didn't want to drink into drinkers, and I've made people go, not made them, but influenced them in a way with my personality that took them down a darker path, that led us into the strip club. I love the strip club, but you shouldn't go there all the time. Led us into the casinos. You have the ability to change your life and the life of the people around you. Use that impact positively. It's absolutely essential that you learn how to do that. And to finish up this video, I want to tell you this. Everything you need is coming to you. The lessons that you need to learn, the money that you want to earn, it's all coming to you in good time, as long as you follow these steps, as long as you make sure you're bettering yourself every day, that you're turning up consistently, that you're doing the best in your life. You'll get everything that you need if you stick to that plan, you continue to learn. But anything that comes to you before your time, you might wish to be rich tomorrow, as I always did when I was younger. I always wished to be rich instantly. I always wanted to win the lottery. Anything that you win before your time, anything that befalls you before your time, good fortune, will be squandered. You have to learn the lessons. You have to live the life. The game is not about the trophies. The game is not about what you get at the end, the car that you have, the money that you earn. It's about the person that you become. That's all of this is focused around that. Completely changing the person you are, your reality will begin to fit that. The most important thing you can learn is the wisdom. So, lads, it's been a fucking pleasure. Great to chat with you guys again. I'll be back every single day, so you can fucking count on me to be here and giving you my vision of the world and how I sort my own life out, and hopefully learn from it and become absolutely incredible through 2024. If you guys want to join my private network, the New Elite, if you feel like you don't have a network of people that are positive influences around you, you want to be around me, you want to be on a call with me, you want to have the chance to meet me and train with me and the boys that I spend the most time with, and learn the way that we do business and the way that we've made things in the world, check out the link down below. Apply to the New Elite. We'll talk about it. See if we can get you in, depending on where you're currently at in your life. If you need that positive influence, we have a circle of absolute killers that are doing business together, that are training together all around the world. So guys, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I will see you on the next one. Whoop-a, whoop-a.